Some people with advanced diabetes have a problem with blood sugars swinging from very high to very low, and they try everything, change the diet, and still have great difficulty stabilizing blood sugar levels. And I am going to explain to you in this video the one organ that is overlooked that probably is controlling or rather affecting these swings in blood sugar. I'm Dr. Amina Goodwin, for those of you meeting me for the first time, and I help overweight people with blood sugar problems fix those problems without having to take more medications. All right, blood sugar, labile blood sugar as we call it, blood sugar that swings from high to low. What on earth is up with that? What causes somebody's sugar to just plummet, for no apparent reason? Well, guess what? The organ that really has a lot to do with balancing blood sugar levels is an overlooked organ, but that organ is the liver. Our liver serves as a sort of buffer for blood glucose levels, and when we're sleeping or during periods between meals, one of the many purposes of the liver is to produce glucose to keep our blood sugar stable. Now, if your liver is going to be functioning and producing what it's supposed to produce, among them being glucose, it means that the liver has to be unblocked, unclogged, and just a very healthy liver in general. One of the big problems affecting the liver of many people, type 2 diabetics of many people, in fact, a third of the population in the United States at least is estimated to have this problem, and this problem is fatty liver disease. Too much fat in the liver. If the more fat congests the liver, the more inflamed the liver gets. The more inflamed the liver gets, eventually you can have scarring of that liver. The more of your liver that's scarred, the less of your liver you have to serve as in that buffer role to make glucose, right? Glucose is one of the things that our body can actually manufacture, so we don't need carbs. Carbs are not essential. We have essential fats, fatty acids, we have essential amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, but we don't have any essential carbs or any essential sugars, because the liver can make sugar, and it can make sugar from protein, right? And it makes sugar from different starches, right? Not really from fat, but our liver can manufacture. It has stores of glycogen for more quick release of glucose, and it can take other ingredients to make sugar. Now, the beautiful thing about the liver is that it actually is one of the organs that can regenerate. So a lot of organs like the brain and the heart, if the tissues die, like with a stroke or with a heart attack, they're dead, they're gone. Like, you cannot make more heart muscle, you cannot make more brain matter, at least not to my knowledge. But the liver, you can actually regenerate. You can regenerate your liver cells, and that's why you can have living donors for liver transplants. You can have somebody donate a piece of their liver, and that donor who gave a piece of their liver can grow back, like they can have more growth of the liver, taking up more space, and then the person who accepts the liver, that part of the liver can actually grow a bit, regenerate, right? And so something like cirrhosis, which is one of the unfortunate complications of fatty liver disease, cirrhosis is essentially like scarring, fibrosis, with regeneration of the liver. So the liver, you have nodules, like little pockets of liver tissue regrowing. The sad thing about the cirrhosis is that because of the scar tissue there, the liver that regenerates, the regrown liver, it gets squeezed, right, by all the scar tissue. So even though, yes, you have more liver tissue there, because it gets squeezed in by the scars, you have too much pressure in the liver, and then is when you start having all the problems associated with pretty severe liver disease, because of the high blood pressure in those veins that come from the liver, right? And that's why people start getting like the vessels very prominent, and the big belly, swollen belly, because of the excess fluid, and the swollen legs, and so on and so forth, right? So the liver can regenerate, but you want to work on your liver, work on protecting your liver before it gets too late, to where you have so much scar tissue, it's going to cause regeneration to actually harm you more than it helps you, right? So what can you do for your liver? Essentially, for your liver, you need to not overpower it. You need to think about your liver and protect it, right? And one of the big things overpowering the liver is just the liver's responsibility is to process food, to extract energy from food, get rid of toxins, kill germs. Right? So it has a lot to do. And when you're eating all the time, the liver is working all the time, especially when you're taking in things like sugar all the time. The liver is really working super hard. And even more if that sugar is fructose or glucose, can be all the tissues of the body can use glucose and can help the liver to process glucose. But when it comes to things like fructose and alcohol, that's another biggie. Only the liver can process those two ingredients especially. And so if you're bombarding the liver a lot with these ingredients or with these foods or these substances, it really does not have enough time to recuperate and rest so that it can save itself and be able to generate energy when energy is needed between meals. And so that really is a problem for people who have these highs and lows. Highs because your liver cannot process the sugar coming in with your meals, right? So it's like stress scrambling, the sugar levels are going up. And then lows because, okay, it finally gets it processed. Everything finally, it works so hard and then it actually gets to normal. But then if you're taking a while before your next meal, the liver is still sort of not 100% healthy. And so it's not able to actually keep producing enough, especially if you're going to be exerting yourself, exercising and so on. Your liver cannot keep up to produce the amount of glucose, the amount of energy that you need to sustain yourself until you can find a meal again, right? So trying your best to the recovery process is gonna be gradual, because for somebody whose liver is really struggling, you're gonna want to be very mindful not to be on a starvation diet, but to look at the types of foods you're eating and to have a predominance of more protein and fat and starches in a complex form. And when I say complex form, I mean starch that has a lot of fiber, so your body has to take a little more time to extract whatever glucose it's going to extract from that fiber-rich starch, so that it doesn't have too much coming at once at the liver and overwhelming the liver. Doing that for long enough, a period of weeks to months, depending on how bad the liver is in each individual person, you can have the liver starting to recover. Also avoiding toxins. Alcohol is another one. If you have any kind of liver disease, you cannot afford to drink alcohol. If you have fatty liver, you cannot afford to drink alcohol, right? It is adding fat to fire. You're straining your liver unnecessarily. Medications are another one. A lot of medications are metabolized by the liver, and so you have to be super careful about medicines and just be mindful. A lot of medicines people take are just because like it's available, and not necessarily because it's life-saving. It's not necessarily saving their lives. So you have to really pay attention. Now, Tylenol, everyone knows or has an idea that Tylenol is not that healthy for the liver. You can take Tylenol in small portions depending on the individual. Check with your doctor first. But Tylenol might be in lots of other medicines that you don't realize. Many over-the-counter medicines actually have Tylenol. So you have to be really careful about looking at all the ingredients, because, for example, if you have a cold and you're taking plain Tylenol capsules or tablets, and then you're taking all sorts of other medications, the amount of Tylenol that you take for a 24-hour period can accumulate rapidly. So you have to be really careful about medicines, toxins, and also some supplements, and you have to read labels again. And if anything, just Google things, right? If you see ingredients, just put in everything into the internet to see which one can potentially negatively affect your liver, right? So all in all, you want to not overpower it with too much sweet, super starchy things, like refined starchy things, number one. Number two, you don't want to overwhelm it with unnecessary toxins such as alcohol and medications. And then three, you essentially do these things gradually. Expect that it's a gradual process, and you can have your liver, the miracle organ, regenerating before it's too late. Have that happen before you have too much scarring, that's then going to cause problems for you down the road. I hope you all found this video helpful, and I thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye.